The Monument of Triumph update has proven itself to be one of the biggest updates the game has ever seen, potentially the biggest non-expansion update, but overwhelmingly so. I've had a lot of people ask me what they should be doing because there is so much that got updated. And while I've just been telling people, go do whatever you want, nothing really matters anymore, I figure people just want some amount of guidance or direction to navigate this massive update. So that's what we're going to do today. This video is primarily aimed at people who have been playing the game somewhat recently, but if you're I haven't played since Final Shape type person, you should be able to follow along as well. I do have an individual video for the I haven't played since Final Shape people linked in the description, but I'll give some very slight spark notes at the end for like armor tiers and weapon tiers so you know how that works. First, the big things. Pantheon 2.0 and the new exotic mission. I would consider this stuff the new content of the patch. I mean, like, the exotic mission is definitely literally new content. If you have a squad of 3, squad of 6, these are some high priority things to engage with, in my opinion. Pantheon 2.0 is dropping a new armor set, updated weapons with potential holofoil treatments, aka the weapon looks pretty cool. It has the feats system built in. It's great. I have guides for both Pantheon 2.0 and the new exotic mission in case you get stuck in either of them. There's also the new turncoat hand cannon from the season pass, and this thing is stupidly good, and I do want to make a video on it soon. I would say that if you're someone who has been playing consistently, the immortal title grind is probably the next thing on your list, or at least it is for me. Bungie introduced like 200 triumphs to go knock out, and all of those triumphs are basically go play the game. All of the game. None of it's retroactive at all. You gotta run it all back. But considering the majority of the game got updated with new armor set bonuses and updated weapon rolls, you should be checking out all parts of the game again anyway. These triumphs give out legendary marks, which you can use to buy things at the monument vendors in the tower. There's the new linear fusion rifle Fafnir, there's a bazillion cosmetics. You have plenty to go grind on that side of things. Bungie has dropped a ton of cosmetics into the game, earnable by just collecting legendary marks, which are done by playing the game. I would say raids and dungeons are the big winners of the patch in terms of loot updates, although pretty much everywhere got updated. Set bonuses added, weapon rolls updated, you can now upgrade your lower tier gear into tier 5 stuff, or at least your weapons specifically. You can add tiers to your crafted weapons as well. To those of you returning from Final Shape, the question of, hey, is all of my stuff outdated and should I just trash it and go get new stuff? The answer is, yeah, kinda. Your old stuff isn't unusable or anything like that. I still use some old stuff here and there, at least in terms of weaponry. But Bungie has heavily incentivized trying to get people to get new stuff. It's higher statted, it's got set bonuses, it's got enhanced perks and traits and all that kind of stuff. You will want to get this stuff. If you're the kind of person who doesn't want to get new stuff, who has historically been annoyed about having to go get new items instead of using the same 4 things for the past 8 years, I would say do yourself and honestly all of us a favor, and you could just stay retired. Although you might be able to get updated versions of those 4 things that you used for the past 8 years, depending on what they are. Next, if you're a big narrative person, story person, and you're looking for some closure there's a whole chain of talking to NPCs for closing statements and dialogue and all that kind of stuff. They're marked across all the maps and destinations. There's a cutscene after completing the triumph, You and Me Big Blue, and there's a follow-up afterwards. It's all worth your time doing it yourself. I wouldn't look these things up on YouTube. I'd just go do them. There's an additional thing to see at the Shard of the Traveler after this stuff as well. Some lore books are pivotal to this to truly understand what everything means, and a lot of Bungie has been encouraging people to go read these things, so check all of that out as well for even more follow-up. It seems like Bungie really wanted to leave it all out on the field, with former narrative team members being surprised at the kind of lore that Bungie has chosen to reveal in this final update. One question I've seen a bunch is, how do I power level? How do I level as fast as possible? If you genuinely want to try to level as fast as possible, then the Reclaim game mode in the Vanguard Fireteam Ops section is for you. Just spam this over and over with 2 of your friends. You can also play Lawless Frontiers, which is part of the Renegades expansion. That's pretty good too, and it's a pretty fun activity in my opinion. But generally speaking, the higher your level, the more difficult content you will need to complete to keep gaining levels. There is absolutely some nuance there that I'm not going to dive into too deeply right now, since this is just meant to be a quick thing and not a full deep dive into leveling. Do I think you should torture yourself with the same 2 activities over and over just for the sake of leveling in a game that isn't getting any more updates? Absolutely not. I would just kind of play the game and you will get stuff. Remember, this is the last time that you're going to need to do any sort of power level grind, so try to savor it. I think Ikora has a new player set that pushes you to 300 light immediately. I think your first drops are just at 300. You just start at 300, generally speaking. Fire team power is still a thing where you are dragged up pretty close to the highest power player in your team, and I don't think there's that much stuff in the game that requires you to be at maximum power, which is 550, by the way. You would want it maybe for like ultimate level content, which is above Grandmaster, but ultimate content is more for bragging rights than anything else, really. You might want it for trials or something like that as well. Also, the equivalent of GM Nightfalls is now the GM Vanguard Alert in Fireteam Ops. This next section is for the final shape people out there. All of the things that I just said is pretty linked to what was known as the portal, which is now just at the bottom of the director menu. This is where you can just load into an activity immediately with 1 to 3 match-made options rotating daily. Everything else is not match-made for the day, so just grab some friends or roll solo if you want to. The higher your grade, the better your drops. Again, some nuance there, but generally speaking, that's the rule. Modifiers are there to adjust your difficulty, so you can actually play on a lower tier of difficulty, but if you add modifiers, you can get higher tier loot than you normally would at that particular difficulty. What do you do with all this new loot? You build craft. Build crafting has massively opened up thanks to the option to equip 7 potential artifacts, not to mention more loadout slots and artifacts working with loadouts now. Solar Titan has a new aspect. Void Hunter has a new aspect. Solar Hunter, new aspect. Void Warlock, new aspect. Stasis and Strand, new grenades. I'm going to be looking into some build content over the next couple of weeks, but this is likely to be the bread and butter of a lot of content creators going into the back half of 2026. So be on the lookout from myself and others on how to explore this new world of build crafting if you don't want to do it yourself. What else is there to grind? A lot of new weapon catalysts were added to the game, planted in all different spots. Vanguard Crucible Gambits is back. Raids, Pantheon, you name it. We also have distortions, aka Bungie's way of trying to get people back onto destinations. Every hour, a new destination across the game will deal with a corruption type event in the sky, which you can see from the director, and it has this like red star icon and red outline on it. Overall, it's a pretty straightforward activity. You head to your distorted destination, you track down a public event. Once it's finished, you'll see a new countdown show up indicating the distorted event is going to start. You fight the waves, you beat the bosses, you loot the chest, nothing too crazy. Piggybacking off of that, the attunement system makes a return, a substantial return. Now directly in your inventory screen, you can focus farm for various weapons throughout the game. All the different menus tell you where the different weapons drop. You used to have to go to like a special vendor to be able to do this. Now you can just do it directly in your inventory. On the cosmetic side of things, bright engram focusing was added to Eververse, where you can guarantee items that you don't already have for the cost of some additional bright dust along with your engram. Crucible's got new sets and emblems. Gambit has the same. SRL, Sparrow Racing League, has made a return and has its own stuff. There is plenty to go hunt down pretty much everywhere. If you're a Final Shape returner, hopefully you've been able to follow along with this. I think the big thing otherwise that you missed is just armor and weapons now having tiers. Tiers 1 through 5. 1 is the worst, 5 is the best. You'll eventually be drowning in tier 5 loot once you hit a certain level, but non-tier 5 loot is still completely fine. You can upgrade lower tier gear into higher tier, you can tier your crafted items, all that good stuff. Also, you do not need to purchase the newest content in the game to participate with this update, but it's going to be pretty cheap in case you do want to see what you missed. I think that's about it for the update in terms of a quick summary. What am I going to be doing? Well, I did Pantheon. I did the exotic mission. I'm going to be experimenting with a lot of build crafting over the next couple of weeks to potentially next month while I grind out the Monument of Triumphs and the title while finishing up any other loot chases that I want to do or title grinds that I want to complete. When I get bored, I will stop and we'll talk about that later, but I'm not quite there yet, so don't worry about it for now. Enjoy yourselves out there. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.